But let's look at their season now as it wrapped up. 29 wins overall, 15 different starting lineups due to all the injuries they had. But they did get it together by March. They won the Big Ten tournament, and they move on. What were your thoughts on what Tom said there?
Well, I think it really showed who he is. He's more concerned about the players than he is about whatever record he may or may not have a part of. And you could tell he was really heartbroken for guys like Adrian Payne and Keith Appling, especially with the way the game ended. And let's give some credit to the development job that Coach Tom Izzo has done with some players, in particular Adrian Payne. Adrian Payne is going to be a fantastic player at the proverbial next level, and he has improved. We talked about Frank Kaminsky and the job that he's done, but how about the progression of Adrian Payne when he was very, very raw his first year and a half, and take a look at what he's been able to do in the last year and a half, 2 years in East Lansing. He's added a three-point shot. He's a tremendous foul shooter at close to 80%. He can stretch you out. He runs the floor. This is a guy that has gone to East Lansing and gotten better. So that's a credit not only to him, but to the coaching staff, because I think everyone talks about recruiting, and yeah, they have done a very good job in terms of getting some of the higher profile players, but they also develop guys.
So speaking of recruiting, where does Michigan State turn next? Appling will be gone. Payne will be gone. There's a chance Dawson decides to go pro. There's a very good chance Gary Harris will be off to the pros. It's going to be a very different Spartan team next year.
It will be, but this is where some of the adversity that they face this year, Mike, may pay some dividends for them, particularly in the form of the number of minutes that guys like Kenny Kaminsky and Matt Costello got. They're going to have to be the guys now. So they were able to kind of get their feet wet in terms of the number of minutes and the level of production that will be expected of them, particularly until some of the recruits that are coming in kind of get acclimated to the way that they do things in East Lansing. So, yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if a guy like Gary Harris, goes and takes his game to the next level, because he can score. He's a very, very good defender. You lose Appling, that point guard, and kind of that toughness factor, and it's very difficult to replace a guy like Adrian Payne. But the cupboard is far from bare, and Travis Trice, I think, also used this Big Ten tournament as well as the NCAA tournament to kind of show he's a guy that can put the ball in the basket as well.
I read an article recently talking about Tom Izzo's recruiting stance, and he says in the last 3 years or so, he's tried to go after the top 5 guys in the country, and he got really close with Jabari Parker, and then at the last second, he chose Duke instead. Which, first off, makes you wonder how different this season could have been if Jabari was there. But also, he said what he learned was, he goes, I look at my football coach, and he just won the Rose Bowl, and he has almost no 5-star guys. So why did I change what I've done, which is historically go after those 4-star kids, those top 30 kids in the country that you can get much easier, have them develop in the way that an Adrian Payne or a Gary Harris have started to. So that'll be interesting to see how his recruiting stance changes. I don't know that there are world beaters coming into this program next year as freshmen, and yet you still have Tom Izzo, so you got to think things are pretty good.